Good morning. Hey everybody. How's it going? Hello, hello. We need cups. Did I run the dishwasher last night? No, I didn't. Bad Sasha. Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. We're gonna work this out. I need to run the dishwasher after book club because it's too loud to run during book club, but that was not good of me. Bad Sasha, bad, not good. Bad, not good. How's everyone doing this morning? Anyone doing anything fun today? Restock is tonight, in case anyone didn't know. Which I'm sure you did know, because I say it enough, right? I think I say it enough. I don't know. Maybe some people don't feel like I say it enough. I don't know. Sleepy pie is my ass. Sleepy pie. Sleepy. I'm gonna get another Hamilton. Yeah. That is one that is a repeat purchase. I do have to say, Hamilton and Glinda are the two slimes. These are pajamas, actually. Hamilton and Glinda are the two slimes that I think in the history of me making slime, people have repurchased the most. Shopping glasses on Zenny. I don't know about that. Are they cute? I haven't had Hamilton in a long time. Yeah, it's a good one. It is. It's a good one. It's been around for many years, and we just don't change anything. Hey, Justin. We just, yeah, it's a great scent. I may have to get a 626. Oh yeah, 626 is super cute. I'll probably make that again because I still have more charms. I just need to get more of that blue clay to make it the right stitch color. You need to get one for your sister. Oh, is your sister a Slimer too? That's exciting. I didn't know that. Or at least I don't think I knew that. Definitely need some 626. The charms on 626 were so cute that I ended up getting a double batch of them. So the one good thing about that is that I can make it again in the next restock as long as I can get some more of that clay. I have some cute options, but no frills. One cheap can go through 4 per year. Why? This is not me being facetious, right? I'm not a glasses wearer, so like, what is, as much as Misha Slime, she gets her hands on one, but she won't buy it for herself. That's fair. That's fair. It's fair. What is going on with my hair, do you think? Okay, there we go. Do glasses wearers always go through a lot of glasses a year? I feel like Secret Husband has had the same pair of glasses since I met him. I think. Or like right before I met him, even. And he only has just the one pair. Is it an eye changey thing? My ADHD. Oh, that's different. Okay, that's a totally different situation. Oh, you also use Zenny? That's what she was just talking about, Jen. You guys use the same place. That's cool. I want glasses because I think they look so cute. So, like, hold on a second. My old boss gave me these blue light glasses. And I love them so much, and I just love the way that people look in glasses. I think it's so fun, and I think they're so cute. And if the ones with the little snap things weren't so expensive, I would buy their blue light glasses just to have them, but they're so expensive. These are just blue light glasses to like protect my eyes, and I wear them when I'm on the computer too much, like writing and stuff. He literally just broke his last flexible pair at camp today. Oh, precious baby. Are you making slime today? Yep, but not right now. If you look at the info on my little info that I wrote up, it says slime later. Slime later. It even has a time. Yeah. So yeah, that's the whole sitch. There you go. Look at that beautiful coffee. Yeah. It smells so good. It smells like a coffee slime. It's like delicious. It smells like a hot chocolate coffee slime. Then he starts at $6.95. Wow, those are pretty cheap. Do they have blue light glasses? Did you do a live while reading? I do that. Yeah, Jennifer, every morning I read on live. That's exactly correct. I come on here and we do it together every morning. Every morning, except Sundays. We don't do it on Sundays. That's true. But every other morning we read together. We talk about our book. We talk about our feelings. My eyes normally change, so I have to get new glasses every 2 years. That's fair, Avery. I feel like that's pretty normal. I feel like I've heard that a lot. Costco. I think my sister gets her glasses from Costco. I think. Maybe not. Maybe that's not true anymore. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Too yawny. I'm frothing the milk, friends. We're frothing the milk. Oh, so yummy. All right. Let's go to our reading area. Someone remind me to water my plants today? Good gosh. Look at our monstera. He's freaking huge. It's a gigantic plant. It's so big. It was so small when we bought it, and now it's so big. There's no world where we could have afforded to purchase a monstera that big. We got it when it was like teeny tiny and just grew it huge. Can you read us a book? Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. I just wanted to make my coffee first, sweetheart. Just a little bit of patience. It's early in the morning, you know? Sometimes we need our coffee to get started with the day. All right, so today we are on chapter 10 of Tale of Witchcraft. It's 11:37 for you. Yeah, it's only 8:37 for me. Can you brush your hair while you're reading to us? Luckily, my hair is tied up, so no one can complain about it today. Yep, this is the book nook. This is where I sit and I read. Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, I love these pajamas also. They are fun. My mom bought them for me a couple of years ago. They're cute and fun and, you know. Okay, so this chapter is called Tea with the Prince. Tea with the Prince. After
After their argument in the cavern, Bristol spent hours searching for Lucy in the northern mountains, but didn't even find a footprint. So she raced back to her office at the academy and looked for Lucy's star on the map of magic. Eventually, she found it in the northwest corner of the border of the dwarf and elf territories, and she immediately knew where her friend was. The discovery left Bristol so heartbroken that she had to sit down. Hey, Caddy, join us for reading time. This is such a great book. The book is called A Tale of Witchcraft, and it's 100% Caddy friendly, so come chill with us, sweetheart. This is a great book for you. Lucy joined the witches, and it's all your fault. Had you kept her in the council, had you just told her the truth, she would still be here. The next 2 days were some of the worst of Bristol's life. Even though she had been purposely keeping her distance from Lucy, not having her best friend close by made Bristol feel like she'd lost a part of her armor. She didn't want the other fairies to learn the details of their falling out, so Bristol told them that Lucy had just gone to visit her parents, but lying only made Bristol feel lonelier than she already was. Not having anyone to talk to about Lucy sent Bristol down a spiral of guilt and self-doubt where she wondered if she was even equipped to be the fairy godmother anymore. You can't please your friends. You can't protect them from the witches. You can't stop the righteous brotherhood. You can't prevent the laws from changing. You can't even think positively. You are going to ruin everything. By now, Bristol was so used to the negative thoughts she hardly noticed the melancholy they caused. In fact, she barely felt anything at all. Bristol didn't eat or sleep. She didn't make plans or try to solve her problems. She didn't even have the energy to brush her hair or change her clothes. She was depleted of all motivation, so Bristol sat in her office hour after hour watching the world go by without her. Adding Lucy to her ongoing list of grievances had finally pushed Bristol over the edge. She wasn't just distraught anymore. Bristol was horribly depressed. That morning, her office door swung open and Tangerina, Skylene, and Xanthos walked in. Their faces were covered in flour and they wore aprons doused in egg yolks and baking grease. It had been 3 days since Mrs. V retreated into her chambers and the housekeeper was still too frightened to come out. Without any other cooks on hand, Tangerina, Skylene, and Xanthos had no choice but to take on Mrs. V's cooking responsibilities. After making breakfast for the whole territory, the fairies looked as if they had been to war and back. They collapsed on Bristol's sofa and kicked up their feet onto her tea table. Well, breakfast was served, Xanthos said. Or should I say, it served us. What a day, Tangerina said, and it's not even noon yet. I am never going to take Mrs. V for granted ever again, Skylene said. When she comes out of her room, I'm going to compliment every meal she makes and laugh at every single one of her terrible jokes. If she ever comes out, Tangerina said. She locked her door and she doesn't even respond when I knock. Bristol, have you spoken with Mrs. V? Xanthos asked. Bristol was staring out the window, lost in a train of somber thoughts, and she didn't even hear his question. Xanthos cleared his throat and tried again. Bristol, have you spoken with Mrs. V? No, she mumbled softly. Have you found any new information about the 333? Tangerina asked. No. What can we do to help you? Skylene asked. No. Xanthos, Tangerina, and Skylene eyed one another with concern. Clearly, something was wrong with Bristol. Before they had a chance to question her further, Emeralda entered the office. She held an envelope with a royal seal on it and carried it to Bristol with urgency in her step. Bristol, a messenger just sent this for you, she said. Emeralda tried to give her the envelope, but Bristol wasn't responsive. Bristol, did you hear me? Still, Bristol didn't move a muscle or make a sound. Impatient, Emeralda pointed to the high ceiling and sent dozens of bright, screeching emerald fireworks through the office. The sound made everyone jump and snapped Bristol out of her trance. I'm so sorry. Did you say something? Bristol asked. I said, this just arrived for you, Emeralda said. It's from the Champion Castle. Oh, Bristol said. Just write back and tell them we aren't doing any more public appearances right now. It's more of a personal request, Emeralda said. Trust me, you want to read this one. Curious, Bristol took the envelope and read the letter inside. Dear Bristol, it was wonderful meeting you at Barry and Penny's wedding. Aside from being attacked by a fleet of mysterious men and getting shot in the leg, I thought it was a lovely ceremony. How about you? I'd like to invite you for tea at the Champion Castle so that we can continue our conversation about... Oh, I used the wrong voice. Oops. Let's do that again. Sorry, guys. I thought it was someone else. Dear Bristol, it was wonderful meeting you at Barry and Penny's wedding. And aside from being attacked by a fleet of mysterious men and getting shot in the leg, I thought it was a lovely ceremony. How about you? I'd like to invite you for tea at the Champion Castle so that we could continue our conversation about the tales of Tibbet the Twitch. I'm free tomorrow at noon, but since I'm the 7th in line for the throne and have nothing important to do with any time is good for me. If you're available, please send my messenger back with a date and time that works for you. But if not, you can just keep him. Of course, I'm kidding. His wife would kill me. Anyway, hope to see you very soon. Sincerely, His Royal Highness Prince Galamed, victorious, heroic, courageous, champion of Chariot Hills. So it's not Prince Maximus, it's the other prince she met that I forgot about until this moment. Oopsie daisy. Duke of South Westington, Lord of South Eastershire, Earl of South Northernbury, and a bunch of other things I can't remember at the moment, aka Seven. Without realizing it, Bristol smiled and chuckled when she read Seven's letter. Her friends stared at her like they were witnessing a miracle. They couldn't remember the last time they had seen anything make Bristol happy. Who's the letter from? Tangerina asked. A prince I met at my brother's wedding, Bristol said. He invited me for tea. The fairies became giddy as if it was a much bigger deal than Bristol was letting on. Interesting, Xanthos said. How old is he? Close to my age, she said. Is he cute? Tangerina said. Extremely, but why would that matter? Oh my gosh, Skylene exclaimed. Bristol just got asked on a date. Hey, Becca. Her friends were thrilled to have something positive to talk about. Bristol waved their excitement off like she was fanning the flames of the fire. No, you guys, Prince Maximus is a part of that group. Seven can't be. Seven is a good one. He's the cute one that she was sitting with in the back who was reading a book. Remember? Prince Maximus is his older brother who's the jerkwad. He's probably part of the 333, or he might be the horned guy or something. But not Seven. Don't say it. You can't really believe that. No. Seven's the good one. You do? Avery, don't say that. You're breaking my heart. You could be a voice for Dramatiz audiobook series. I believe you'd be really good at it. Thank you, Jennifer. That's very sweet. Seven can act good, but it doesn't mean he is. You guys! Wait, Avery and Naisa, both of you? I feel very betrayed. I'm on Seven's side. Uh-oh, that's not good, Becca. Can you now? Somebody say something so Becca can see if she can see the comments. I'm gonna be on Seven's side. Who's on Team 7 and who's anti-7? Who's Team 7 and who's anti-7? I need to know. Really? Gen 2? Oh my gosh, you guys, why did no one tell me sooner that you all thought he was evil? Oh my gosh. I had no idea. Is there a group chat I'm not in where you all discussing this without me? Oh my gosh. That's very funny, Becca. I think he's a decoy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, you guys. Oh, he's giving Frozen vibes. Oh no. Oh no, is he Prince Hans? Oh no. Oh, I didn't even know. I was so happy for Bristol. Oh no, I thought he was like Arthur. Oh no. Okay, let's keep reading and we'll find out, I guess. I'm sad. It's not a date, she assured them. We just really enjoyed talking to each other and we have a lot of things in common. Bristol paused and thought about what she was saying. Okay, actually, it might be a date. Well, where are you Are you gonna go? Xanthos asked. No, of course I'm not gonna go, Bristol said. There's too much going on and I haven't been feeling... Emeralda raised a hand to silence her. Bristol, you are going, she said. What? But I can't. My guess is Lucy finds out and agonizes about telling Bristol. Oh God, you guys, come on. You're hurting my feelings. Yeah. What? But I can't. Yes, you can, Esmeralda insisted. You've been moping around the academy since Pip ran off with the witches, and I know we have a lot to worry about right now, but taking one afternoon off isn't going to make anything worse. All of our problems will still be waiting here when you get back. Besides, if you don't have tea with the handsome prince, I will, Tangerina warned her. Bristol groaned at the peer pressure. The twinkling northern lights on the globe caught her eye, and she also remembered her conversation with Madame Weatherbury in the cavern. The fairy had told Bristol to surround herself with people who made her laugh and distracted her from her troubles, and at that moment, Seven seemed to be the only person in the world who made her feel anything but sorrow. The idea of seeing him again made Bristol excited, and she'd forgotten what it was like to look forward to something. I suppose it wouldn't hurt, Bristol said. Her friends were even more excited than she was, and they started jumping up and down. What are you going to wear? Xanthos asked. Bristol shrugged. I don't know, probably one of my pantsuits, she said. Good morning. Morning. How are you going to get there? Skylene asked. Probably by bubble. Why do you ask? The fairy seemed disappointed in her choices. Pantsuits and bubbles are just basic, Tangerina said. I mean, you're having tea with a prince. You should wear a ball gown and take Madame Weatherbury's golden carriage. I'll help you pick out your outfit, Xanthos said. And I'll do your makeup, Skylene said. Guys, the prince asked Bristol to tea because he likes Bristol, Esmeralda said. She doesn't have to change anything about herself to please him. Bristol was touched. Thanks, Em, she said. You're welcome, Esmeralda said. But before you go, and I say this with love, you definitely need to take a bath and do something with that hair. When's the last time you brushed it? The following morning at 11 o'clock, after bathing and thoroughly brushing her hair, Bristol departed the fairy territory for the southern kingdom. She drifted through the sky in a large bubble and landed on the front steps of the Champion Castle at 5 minutes to noon. Bristol had tried to be discreet as she descended through the Chariot Hills town square, but as soon as the citizens noticed her bubble, they charged toward the castle. Bristol hurried up the steps to the entrance, but a soldier stopped her before she could get inside. Name? The soldier asked. Seriously? Bristol asked. The approaching crowd was screaming her name at the top of their lungs, but the soldier didn't seem to notice. No one gets in the castle unless they're on the list, he said. I'm the fairy godmother, she said. I'm here to see Prince Gallivant. The soldiers checked his scroll. Sorry, but I don't see your name. What about Bristol Evergreen? Nope, that's not here either. There must be some sort of mistake. The prince invited me here personally. Sorry, no name, no entry. Bristol nervously glanced over her shoulder at the crowd behind her, and she didn't know what to do. What other name could Seven have given him? What about Fairy Godsmacker? She asked. Oh, yes. Welcome, Miss Godsmacker. Please come inside. The soldier stepped out of Bristol's way, and she dashed into Champion Castle just as excited citizens reached the front steps. The entrance hall was decorated with red carpets and crystal chandeliers. The walls were covered in portraits of royalty from the past and present, and the hall was lined with soldiers in silver armor. Bristol found Seven waiting for her just beyond the front door. He was grinning from ear to ear and trying his best not to laugh. Did you have trouble getting in? He asked innocently. That wasn't funny, Bristol said. Then why are you smiling? Okay, it was a little funny, she admitted. You're lucky I'm not a vengeful person. I could easily turn you into a pig for that. But an adorable pig, I'm sure, he said with a wink. Seven offered Bristol his arm and escorted her down the hall. I'm so glad you could join me, he said. Have you been to the castle before? A few times, but always for official business with your grandfather. Great, then I'll give you the social tour, he said. As you can see by the painted faces surrounding us, this is the Royal Portrait Gallery. Every member of the Champion dynasty gets an official portrait on their 18th birthday, on their wedding day, and also on their coronation day if they're in line for the throne. As you can tell by all the stoic expressions, the Champions don't like to smile. Bristol was in awe of how many portraits there were. Your family is huge, she said. Holiday shopping must be a nightmare. I have a lot of relatives, but I wouldn't say I have a big family, he said. The Champions are in constant competition with each other, and they treat the line of succession like a food chain. They may exchange pleasantries here and there, but deep down everyone secretly hopes someone will fall down a flight of stairs and move them a little closer to the crown. Wow, and I thought my family had issues, Bristol said. If it's helpful, I don't think it matters what group you're born into. Sometimes family are the people we choose to be around. I learned that when I moved into the academy. Seven smiled at the notion. I think I'm making good choices so far, he said. The remark filled Bristol's stomach with butterflies and her face flushed. As they walked down the gallery, Seven stopped to show Bristol the portrait of a teenage boy. He wore a crown that was too big for his head and a fur cape that barely fit him. His eyes were wide with angst. "This is my grandfather's coronation portrait," Seven said. "He was so young," Bristol said. "Look how terrified he is." Yeah, he was only 16 when he became king. Can you imagine having that kind of responsibility at such a young age? Bristol laughed. "As a matter of fact, I kind of can." Seven cringed like he had accidentally offended her. "Sorry, I keep forgetting who I'm with," he said. "I think that's what it's like, or that's what I like the most about you, Bristol. You're essentially like the most powerful person in the world, yet you don't care about yourself in that way. Lesser people would go straight to their heads, but you're surprisingly normal. I hope it's all right for me to say that." "Don't apologize. That's refreshing to hear," she said. "I think that's what I like most about you too, Seven. You make me feel normal." They continued down the gallery and past the wedding portrait of a young couple. "Right, so these are my parents on their wedding day," Seven said. "May they rest in peace." "Oh, how did they die?" Seven looked to the floor and he sighed with a heavy heart. When I was 3, we were traveling to the countryside when our carriage was attacked by an angry mob," he said. "I don't really remember much besides all the screaming. My parents shielded me, otherwise I really probably wouldn't have survived. They died trying to protect me, though. Maybe that's why I threw myself in front of the arrow at your brother's wedding. Maybe protecting people just runs in my blood." "I am so sorry. I had no idea," Bristol said. "Is that how you got that scar on your face?" The prince nodded. "Yep, yeah, it's a constant reminder," he said. "Could have been so much worse, though. Thankfully, my grandfather took me under his wing and he raised me like a son. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done without Grandpa Champs." "Still, I imagine it's lonely growing up without your parents," Bristol said. "I came up with different ways to entertain myself," he said. "Have you ever played the game And Now We Run?" No? Oh, it's simple." Seven suddenly snatched the helmet off the soldier beside them. "And now we run!" he exclaimed. Before she understood what was happening, Seven had pulled Bristol down the hall and the soldiers chased after them. They charged down the corridor and sprinted through the sitting rooms. They bolted across ballrooms, dodging servants and leaping over furniture and narrowly knocking over statues along the way. Bristol didn't understand the point of the game and she felt sorry for the soldier running after them, but she couldn't deny how much fun she was having. She and Seven laughed the entire time and their adrenaline rose more and more as the soldier got closer and closer. They eventually became too tired to run any further and they collapsed on lounge chairs in the drawing room. Seven surrendered the helmet and the soldier returned to his post, swearing under his breath as he left. "Those poor soldiers must hate you," Bristol giggled. Yeah, without a doubt. But that game never gets old," Seven laughed. "I have to admit I haven't had that much fun in months." "Well, in that case, we should celebrate with some tea." The prince escorted her into a beautiful royal garden where the table had been set for 2. While they enjoyed their tea, Bristol and Seven talked about every subject under the sun. They discussed politics and philosophy, history and the future, family and friendships, and of course, their love for the Tales of Tidbit the Twitch series. Their tea turned into lunch, and the lunch turned into dinner, and before they knew it, Bristol and Seven were being served a midnight snack. Bristol was so grateful her friends had persuaded her to go. For reasons she couldn't explain, being near Seven made all her despair fade away. She wasn't plagued with fear or negative thoughts. On the contrary, she felt protected and happy in his presence. The world didn't seem as overwhelming or as difficult as it had before. "I think we have an audience," Seven said. He pointed to a window above the garden and saw Prince Maximus glaring down at them. She couldn't tell how long the prince had been watching them, but Maximus was clearly furious to see his nephew and his enemy getting along so well. Once he was spotted, Prince Maximus angrily shut the drapes and retreated from sight. "I'll take that as my cue to leave," Bristol said. "I can't thank you enough for inviting me. Yesterday I was convinced that this was the worst week of my life, but now I think it might be one of the best." "I can relate," Seven said. "I've been feeling so negative lately, like my mind's been stuck in a rut that I can't get out of, but being with you makes everything seem so much brighter. Does that make sense, or do I sound crazy?" "Aw, beans." Bristol couldn't believe her ears. Darn it, you guys are right, aren't you? Bristol couldn't believe her ears. It was like Seven was reading her mind. "'Cause we finish each other's sandwiches, don't we?" "I know exactly what you mean," she said. And in that moment, Bristol knew she and Seven had developed something much more than a friendship. It was unlike anything Bristol had ever experienced before, and she couldn't put her feelings into words, but she suddenly understood why poets and songwriters talked about love so much. I trust no one. Sasha trusts everyone. That's funny. The prince escorted Bristol to the front steps of the castle. It was so late that Bristol and Seven had the whole town square to themselves. "It's a beautiful night," Bristol said. "It is," Seven said. "Oh, and look, there's a blood moon tonight. Those are supposed to bring luck." "I think it already has," Bristol said with a smirk. "I think we should probably say goodnight." "Yeah, me too," Seven said. The two stood for a few moments in awkward silence. Clearly, they both wanted the same thing to happen, but each was too afraid to initiate it. Slowly but surely, Bristol and Seven leaned towards each other. Bristol's mind went blank and her heart began to race as Seven's lips moved closer and closer to hers, but unfortunately, they were interrupted by something moving in the distance. They turned toward the motion and spotted a man in a silver robe. The man crossed the corner of the town square, walking softly, so softly his boots didn't make a sound against the cobblestone. Bristol and Seven hid behind the lamppost before the man noticed them, and after a closer look, they saw the image of a white wolf stitched to the chest of the man's robes, and its silver mask that was draped over his face. "It's a member of the Righteous Brotherhood," Bristol whispered. "The what?" Seven asked. "The men who attacked us at my brother's wedding. That's what they call themselves," she said. "Well, where do you think he's going? Should I call the guards?" Bristol went quiet as she thought about what to do. She knew the encounter presented them with a wonderful opportunity, but the opportunity to do what? How could she use this moment to her advantage? "Don't call the guards," Bristol decided. "Even if we capture him, he couldn't give us the information we want. The Brotherhood is so secretive that even they don't know who their fellow clansmen are." "Well, then what do? We can't just let him get away." Suddenly, Bristol was struck with a dangerous idea. "We should follow him." The enrollment ceremony. After a long night of cursing, Lucy and Pip returned to the Raven Crest early in the morning and went straight to bed. It didn't matter how uncomfortable her nest was, Lucy was so sleep-deprived that she passed out the moment her body became horizontal. That evening, the taxidermy clock didn't go off at 6 o'clock per usual, and Lucy slept into the night. When their eyes fluttered open, she saw Stitches, Bibi, and Sprout standing at the foot of the nest, waiting for her to rise. The witches watched her with huge smiles, and Lucy felt instantly uneasy. "Can I help you?" she asked. "Wakey, wakey, sleepy Daisy," Sprout said. Pip yawned and stretched in her nest. "What time is it?" she grumbled. "Almost midnight," Bibi said. "Mistress Mara told us to let you two sleep in." "Why?" Lucy asked. "Because you're gonna need all your strength tonight," Stitches said. "Now get up and get dressed. It's time for your enrollment ceremony." Lucy and Pip climbed out of their nests and changed into their cloaks and tights. They followed the witches through the manor, and when they reached the ground floor, the invisible butler was waiting at the door with 5 broomsticks. "Hi, baby, come sit and join us for reading time, sweetheart." What are those for?" Lucy asked. "We're meeting Mistress Mara in the forest," Stitches said. "She left early to set up for the ceremony." "And we're gonna sweep our way there?" Lucy asked. "No, silly. We're gonna fly there," Bibi said. "Witches fly on broomsticks made of wood from floating trees," Sprout informed them. "The trees are extremely hard to find because they float away when their branches outgrow the roots." "But why do witches make brooms, of all things?" Pip asked. Stitches shrugged. "They're multifunctional," she said, "and mops would just be obnoxious." The girls each took a broomstick from the butler and then headed into the graveyard. As soon as they stepped outside, the girls were awestruck by the massive blood moon shining in the night sky. It was 4 times the size of a regular moon and illuminated the land with a scarlet glow. Stitches, Bibi, and Sprout mounted their broomsticks, and one by one, the witches leapt into the air. The broomsticks carried them high above the manor, and they hovered into the sky as they waited for Pip and Lucy to join them. "Come on!" Stitches called down to them. "Don't be scared," Sprout said. "It's just like riding a bike." But hundreds of feet in the air," Bibi said. Lucy and Pip straddled their broomsticks and nervously gripped the handles. They jumped as high as they could, but the broomsticks pulled them into the sky towards the others. Once their feet left the ground, the magic broomsticks made their bodies feel as light as feathers. They bobbed in the air above the manor's tallest tower. "What a rush!" Pip exclaimed. "We can see the whole forest glorious from here. I feel like I just drank a barrel of fabulous fizz, Lucy said. And now hold on tight and try to keep up, Stitches said. We might hit turbulence. The witches leaned forward on their broomsticks and zipped across the sky. Lucy and Pip copied the movement and zoomed after them. They soared over the northwestern woods at the speed of rockets, and the wind rushed past Lucy's face so quickly that she could barely see or breathe. As they flew, the witches howled and cackled at the moon, their voices echoing through the forest below them. Eventually, they saw a trail of steam drifting up from the woods ahead, and the witches descended to the ground. How do you land this thing? Lucy asked. Think heavy thoughts, Sprout said. Lucy thought of boulders, dumbbells, anchors, and how she packed her suitcase when she traveled, and sure enough, her broomstick glided toward the earth below. Once all the girls landed, they followed the steam through the woods and entered a small clearing. They found Mistress Mara in the clearing, hovering over a massive, steaming cauldron. The witch stirred a bright purple potion that was bubbling with energy. A collection of drums, horns, and chimes drifted through the air around the clearing, as if the instruments were caught in a slow-moving cyclone. As soon as the girls arrived, the drums began to beat on their own, playing the pace of soft heartbeat. Welcome, ladies, Mistress Mara greeted them. For thousands of years, witches and warlocks have embraced their new brothers and sisters into their covens by performing a sacred induction ceremony, and we will honor that age-old tradition tonight as we officially welcome you into the Ravencrest School of Witchcraft. The ritual once required animal sacrifices, contracts signed in blood, and tears of your enemies, but luckily, we have been able to simplify it over the years. Tonight, all we need is a little potion, a little music, and a little moonlight. The witches cheered, and the floating chimes shimmered. Mistress Mara gazed into the sky and saw the blood moon was directly above the clearing. The time has come, the witch announced. Lucy and Pip, to finalize your enrollment, To finalize your enrollment, each of you will take the oath of witchcraft and then solidify the oath by drinking from the potion. I must warn you, once you take the oath, there is no going back. You will be fully committed to a life of witchcraft, and you must obey that oath until your final breath. Lucy and Pip went stiff after learning about the oath. Trying to stop Mistress Mara and the Horned One had already cost Lucy her hair and her eyebrows. What was she going to lose next? Pip, we'll begin with you, Mistress Mara said. The floating drums started to beat faster and louder, which only increased the girl's anxiety. Mistress Mara filled the goblet with the purple potion and raised it in the air to soak in the beams of moonlight. Pip, do you vow to always live authentically? Do you promise to never compromise your potential? And do you swear to never suppress your true feelings, no matter what approval, popularity, or affection you may receive in return? That is the sacred oath of witchcraft, and to become a witch you must pledge it here and now. In other words, just be yourself, Stitches whispered. Lucy and Pip were relieved that the oath wasn't as menacing as they had feared. Well, that doesn't sound so bad, Pip said. Yes, Mistress Mara, I pledge my allegiance to the oath of witchcraft. The witch handed Pip the goblet and she drank the potion. According to her foul expression, the potion had a terrible taste, but Pip managed to down the whole thing. Nicely done, Mistress Mara said. Lucy, please step forward. The witch filled the goblet again and raised the potion toward the moon. Lucy, do you vow to always live authentically? Do you promise to never compromise your potential? And do you swear to never suppress your true feelings, no matter what approval, popularity, or affection you may receive in return? Yeah, I mean, why stop now? Lucy laughed. Yes, Mistress Mara, I also pledge my allegiance to the oath of the witchcraft. The witch handed Lucy the goblet, and with an extra twinkle in her eye, Lucy drank the whole potion and nearly gagged from the bitter taste. Once the potion was finished, the floating instruments erupted in a festive melody. The ceremony is complete, Mistress Mara announced. Congratulations, Lucy and Pip. You are hereby enrolled in the Ravencrest School of Witchcraft. To celebrate, the girls and I shall lead you in a traditional midnight dance. Ladies, please remove your necklaces and reveal your true selves to the moon. At her command, Stitches, Bibi, and Sprout pulled their golden necklaces over their heads. As they removed the jewelry, the witches transformed into the creatures that Lucy and Pip had never seen before. Stitch's skin turned into patches of burlap that were stitched together, and her eyes became red and blue buttons. Her orange hair turned into orange yarn. 2 antennae grew out of Bibi's forehead, and a pair of wings popped out of her back. A stinger came out of her backside. Sprout's bushy green hair became an actual bush, and her fingers and nose grew into long vines. Her skin was filled with chlorophyll and turned green. Mistress Mara removed her golden necklace next. The witch's pale face became paler and paler. Her arms shrunk thinner and thinner, and her torso became hollow. After a lifetime of witchcraft, Mistress Mara's authentic appearance was a skeletal figure. Lucy and Pip were shocked and terrified as they watched their roommates and teacher morph into a giant doll, a large insect, an overgrown plant, and a skeleton right before them. Apparently, the witches had been affected by witchcraft after all. Their golden necklaces had just been disguising it. The witches danced around the cauldron as the floating instruments played on. As the potion coursed through Lucy's body, she started to feel funny. She became dizzy and unstable, as if the ground were moving under her feet. Her vision went blurry and distorted, and the witches looked like monsters as they twirled, hopped, and skipped around her. She glanced to her side and could tell that Pip was feeling the same way. Both of the girls suddenly collapsed to the ground. They tried to get up, but they were too weak to stand on their feet. Lucy and Pip reached for help, but the witches kept dancing as if nothing were wrong. Mistress Mara leaned over them, lowering her bony face closer to theirs. The witch waved her skeletal hands over their bodies and muttered an incantation, but Lucy couldn't make out what she was saying. As she all she could hear were the blaring instruments swirling through the air. All she could see was the blood moon shining above them. All she could feel was the potion rushing through her veins. And then everything faded to black. Well, that wasn't good. It's not good. Bad, not good. So that didn't go well at all. I would read more, except it's restock day, so I have to get to work. I wish that I didn't have to have a job and we could just read all day, but I have to work. That's how the whole thing about paying bills works. Yeah, it's bad, not good to the highest degree. Okay, well, yeah, Amanda canceled the restock. That's really bad for my bank account. Okay, well, so today I was crushed. How much does Sasha's summer camp cost? Yeah, right? Summer camp. Sorry, you had to find out we don't trust 7 all at once. I know. How did you guys all know that each other didn't trust 7 and just no one told me? Because I didn't know you guys didn't trust 7. I thought we were all team 7. And then you all told me together that you didn't trust 7. So you guys just like had some kind of like gut feeling to one another and didn't say anything to me. You left me out of this. You all thought you were the only one. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Everyone thought that they were the lone wolf in this and you were all, I was the lone wolf. Okay, I don't want to be a wolf anymore knowing what we know about the 333. You liked him too, Renee? Okay, well, Renee and I always have the same opinion, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate that we were the only two that thought good things about him, because now maybe we're both wrong. Okay, well, I'm sad for Bristol. Yeah, that's why we need you, Becca. We're too like, aw, he's so cute. That's not good. Okay, well, yeah, apparently we do, Renee. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, I will, magic is a coming out story. It sure is. It sure is. Jeez. Yeah, I know, Anya. I know. I probably should be too. All right, well, I'll see you all tonight. I'm gonna get on at like, that's true, Becca. I'm gonna get on at like 4 to make white glue base right before we go into restock, because I still need white glue base for tomorrow's roll for slime. So we'll do that first and then we'll do restock, yada, yada, yada. So I will see you all then, 4 o'clock probably, I'll be on, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on how fast I get everything together. Base, restock, ship the slimes, roll for slime Pride Night, roll for slime regular. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Wait. If you're on Patreon, the post to let you in early is already locked and loaded. Can Sasha's summer camp be for adults instead of kids? Yeah, it was supposed to be. Wasn't that the whole idea? I thought that was the whole plan, Becca. I thought so. I don't really have the capacity to take care of all the kids. It was just supposed to be like cabins and spas and then all of us reading and playing with slime together. Now I have to go call the pharmacy and do the dishes. Yeah, we all have work to do. All right, I love you all. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Great day.